Let us do question number 17 from the book. Okay, so you have 36 minus 5x squared. So it looks like it is like a squared minus x squared form, right? You see that? It is like a squared minus x squared form. But the thing is, there is not really x squared, there is 5x squared. So I want to take that 5 out first, okay? Let me take that 5 out. How do I take that 5 out? Is you can write this as equals to integral. Let me do like this. Let me take 5 out. You get 36 over 5 minus x squared. And there is dx, right? And take that root 5 outside. You get root 5 and then integral 36 over 5 and then minus x squared, right? So can you write that 36 over 5 as let me write in the next step, okay? So what I want to do is I want to write a squared minus x squared format. So root 5, okay, integral. So under the root you can write 6 over root 5 square minus x squared, right? That is same as 36 over 5. You see that? And then dx. So it is a squared minus x squared format. So a is 6 over root 5. So what you can write here is set x equals to, you can write set x equals to 6 over root 5 a sine theta, right? A squared minus x squared format. That's why it is a sine theta. So if you do that, what will be the dx then? Dx will be what? Dx will be 6 over root 5 and then cosine theta d theta, okay? And if you want to find out the theta, then you can do the sine inverse. So also what do you get here? Also sine theta equals to root 5x over 6. That is, if you make a triangle, so sine is perpendicular over the hypotenuse, right? So that will be root 5x. Hypotenuse is 6. So how much would that be? That will be 6 squared, 36 minus square of that will be 5x squared, okay? So by the way, this one, you know, this one is, this root is only for 5, not for x. That's what you get, okay? So let me write down, suppose that this is I equals to, so I equals to, so let me write down back, therefore I is equals to, root 5 is there, integral root under, you got basically 36 over 5 minus, what is x? X is 6 over 5 root 5 and the sine theta. So square of that will be again 36 over 5 sine square theta. So that will be root under 36 over 5 minus 36 over 5 sine square theta times, what is the value of d theta? So the dx is 6 over root 5 times cosine theta d theta. You see that? Now you see there is root 5 divided by root 5. That cancel out, and then what is coming out is 6, right? So you got equals to 6, okay? Integral, let's take 36 over 5 out, 36 over 5 out, 1 minus sine square theta, and then times cosine of theta d theta. You see that? So that is equals to 6 integral of, what do you get there? So that is basically under the root 36 over 5 times cosine square theta, and then there is outside the integral, what is there is cosine theta d theta. You see that? So outside the integral you have cosine of theta d theta, okay? So which is equals to 6 times, what is the root of 6? 36 is 6 over root 5, okay? And then what is the root of cosine square theta? It's cosine theta times cosine theta, is that cosine theta, right? And then d theta. So do you get 36 over root 5, okay? And then there is cosine square theta d theta. Do you know how to find the integral of cosine square? 36 over root 5 1 plus cosine 2 theta, over 2 d theta. That is the formula for cosine square in terms of the multiple angle. So let's take the 2 out. It will be 1/2 36. That will be 18, right? So 18 over root 5. So you get 18 over root 5. Okay, times. So what do you get? Integral of 1 is theta plus integral of cosine 2 theta is sine 2 theta over 2 plus c. See that? What do you get then? You get equals to 18 over root 5, okay, times theta plus, this is 2 sine theta cosine theta over 2, because sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta. You can see that formula in your second page of the book. Okay, now let us plug in back, because you can cancel that, this and that one. Okay, now plug in back. What is theta? If you take here, then that theta is equals to sine inverse root 5x over 6. That's theta, right? So that let me put that value. So 18 over root 5, okay, and then sine inverse root 5x over 6. That is theta plus, what is sine theta? Sine theta is basically root 5x over 6, right? So root 5x over 6 times, what is cosine theta? Is base over the hypotenuse. That is root under 36 minus 5x squared over 6 plus c, right? So if you write down in the nicer format, simplified format, 18 over root 5, and then sine inverse root 5x over 6 plus root 5x times 36 minus 5x squared, okay, divide by 36 plus c. That is the final answer. Okay guys, so the next problem I want to do is question number 26. Again, all the problems you need to do the substitution. Okay, these are the trig substitution. So on number 26 I have 1 over integral 1 over x squared plus 5 and then to the 3/2 dx. See, if you don't have the trig substitution, if you don't use the trig substitution, this problem is harder to do. So what do, you have like x squared plus a squared format, right? It is x squared plus a squared, so it should be a tangent theta. So basically you can write this as, right, x squared plus root 5 square and then 3/2. It is like a is root 5. You see that? That's what we will be using there. Okay, solution is set x equals to root 5 tangent theta. Then what do you get if you do that? Then what will be dx? So this dx will be replaced by, dx will be root 5 secant square theta d theta. And also if you make a right triangle, also you get tangent theta equals to what? Tangent theta equals to x over root 5, right? That is perpendicular over base. So this is x, this is root 5. So what will be that one? The hypotenuse will be x squared plus 5, because x squared plus root 5 squared is x squared plus 5. So that is the right triangle. Okay, now let us plug in that. Therefore I is equals to what? So the I is equals, that's, I'm taking that as I equals to integral, the dx is, we have root 5 secant square theta d theta, that is dx over you have x squared, we are replacing x by root 5 tangent theta, that will be 5 tangent square theta plus 5 to the 3/2, because x is root 5 tangent theta. If you find out x squared, that's what you will get, 5 tangent square theta plus 5. Let me take 5 out. What do you get? Integral, so root 5 is there, and then secant square theta d theta divide by, I'm taking 5 out, you get tangent square theta plus 1, but whole that is 3 half. Do you know what is the value of 5 to the 3 half? Is 5 to the 1 plus 1 half. That is 5 times 5 to the 1 half. That is 5 root 5. That's what you get, okay, in the denominator. So this is equals to root 5 integral secant square theta d theta over 5 root 5. I can pull that outside the integral because that's just a constant. So 5 root 5, okay. And what is the value of tangent square theta plus 1? That is secant square theta to the 3 half. D theta. Okay, what is the secant square theta 3 half? You can basically, it is like, you see that? That's like secant theta square times 3 half. Because secant square theta and secant theta square are the same thing, right? So in that case, then that 2 and 2 will cancel out. So it will be basically secant cube theta. That's what you get in the denominator, okay? So that is equals to that 5 and 5 also cancel. Root 5 and root 5 cancel out. So what you get there is basically 1 over 5, right? And then integral secant square theta d theta. Oh, you don't need 2 d theta there. Just only 1. Divide by, it is secant cube theta. Okay, what do you get? 1 over 5, 1 over secant theta d theta, because you cancel secant square and square there, right? So that's what you get. So there are 3 secant, there are 2 secant, those 2 of them cancel out. So what is that? 1 over 5 integral cosine of theta. 1 over secant is cosine, right? So what is the integral of cosine? 1 over 5 sine theta plus c. But what is sine? Sine is basically perpendicular over base, right? So you get 1 over 5 times x over root under x square plus 5, because in the right triangle sine is, so basically sine is perpendicular over the hypotenuse, right? So perpendicular is x, this is theta, perpendicular is x, again here also in this example also that's theta, over hypotenuse is x square plus 5 plus c. That is the final answer. So okay, I will create one more video for a couple more examples, and that will be the all. Okay, all right. So next video will be some more examples.